There's not many black billionaires. So when you are a person of that stature and you speak for the people when it comes to other social issues, you do. I would like to think that you have a responsibility to take action in the city you grew up in. Rest in peace to Jayland Walker, a young man. He was gunned down by Akron police officers back on July 3rd. It was reported that more than 90 shots, I think, were fired, and Walker was hit around 60 times, and I think I read that 12 to the face, basically to the point to where it's like, if you want to have a funeral, it'll be like Emmett Till style, like to where, we know Emmett's body was shown because his mother wanted it to be shown, but it'll be one of those types where you probably shouldn't show the body at the funeral. I'm guessing that's how bad it was. And of course, we know LeBron James was born in Akron, Ohio, and grew up there. And we know that when these tragedies happen, the question is, where is insert celebrity? In this case, why haven't LeBron said anything? The only thing we've heard from him is a tweet saying, "I pray for my city," with the pray emoji. He didn't say pray, but he just had the pray emoji saying, "I pray for my city." And this was sent back on the same day, I believe. I think this was the same day it happened. But that's all. That's all we heard. We've heard from LeBron, and it has been 3 days since this has happened. But my thing is, it was headline news when it was announced that LeBron James was a billionaire. So is it LeBron's job to speak on these things? Well, if he takes it upon himself to say he's an activist, and we all know that in the black community, our leaders are pretty much chosen for us. They are our entertainers, our leaders. They are our rappers. They are our athletes, comedians, and things like that. Like, you would never hear Eminem coming out speaking as a leader in the white community. Our black entertainers don't mind taking the mantle of being our leaders. So they, to me, should know the responsibilities of leading, because it's not like a lot of them say, well, I'm not a leader, don't look at me like this, and so forth. Like, they'll for the most part come out and say they are the leaders in the black community. And if you speak on these type of issues and have the status of a LeBron, like it or not, you're under a bigger microscope when it comes to public expectations and opinions. I mean, let's be honest. Our people make the economy go. We spend a lot of money. LeBron James will not be a billionaire if it weren't for black people. Now, can LeBron James save everyone? No. We know that's not true. And that's not what people are asking. But LeBron is from Akron, Ohio, people. He's from Akron. LeBron James wields a lot of power. He is a global superstar. They know him all around the world. So no, he can't save everyone, but this is his backyard. So it's like, are you saying LeBron is not responsible, for having a sit down with the mayor or the governor and other leaders in the community, city, and state? Because people ask that question. Well, people say those things. Well, he can't save everyone. It's not his job to speak on it, when in fact this is in his backyard. This is in Akron, Ohio. And then they'll say, well, how do you know he's not doing that? Well, to me, it's because LeBron has a track record of playing it safe. Again, his advisor, Adam Edelstein, or whatever his name was, said he was exhausted from Me Too and Black Lives Matter. He was caught on tape saying this with Rachel Nichols. We all know that entire story from last summer. And LeBron said nothing. At least ask the guy to explain what he means by that. But LeBron said nothing. And we all know how safe he played it when it came to the China situation. Can't pick and choose when you want to be an activist. You cannot pick and choose, especially when it's in your own backyard. And not just him, but there are lots of celebrities that tweet from the comfort of their phones and homes and things like that. Talking about enough is enough, prayers, we need change. I said it once and I'll say it again. Pretending to make a difference does not make a difference. It doesn't. Because eventually real situations such as this one will arise, and your stance, where you stand, and the words that you were speaking on Twitter or social media, they will be tested. They will be put to the test. You will be called to the front to see if you were really about the action you were talking about. He opened a school in this city. So this is his city. This is where he grew up. Remember, these are the people that saw him first. This tragedy took place in a city that saw him first. Before we all knew the kid from Akron, Akron knew him first. The people in Akron. St. Vincent, St. Mary High School is located in Akron. The I Promise school that he built is located in Akron. There's not many black billionaires. So when you are a person of that stature and you speak for the people when it comes to other social issues, you do. I would like to think that you have a responsibility to take action in the city you grew up in. So calling for a sit down with city and state officials should be nothing for him. I mean, are they going to listen to me if I call for one? Of course, he can't save the world, but with the power and influence he has, he can definitely make a change. Over like 50 million followers on Twitter. Over 120 some million followers on IG. I mean, how many times are we going to say prayers? How many times are we going to say prayers and talk about how we need change? Yes, God is real. I'm not saying you shouldn't pray, because God is real. I believe in God. I subscribe to it. And I walk it. I do the best I can to walk it. But prayer also requires action. Faith without works is dead. James 2:26. I can ask God to help me with a change in my life, such as helping me find a job. And then I'm praying, asking for a job, but then I'm just on social media watching videos all day, scrolling through social media, watching people do dumb stuff, just playing basketball at the park, doing nothing, watching TV. I can't pray and ask God this without looking for a job. It doesn't work like that. Don't I have to do my part if I'm going to pray for these things? So we can sit and talk about change and all of this, saying pray for my city. It's super easy to sit where I'm at right now and to sit and tweet. It's easy to do that. But what about when the work? What about when you actually have to do the work? Are you going to actually get up and do the work? So yes, LeBron James is supposed to do something. No, this video is not me using this situation to attack LeBron, but the question always comes up, what is he supposed to do? He can't do anything. So why does he talk, period, if he can't do anything? Why say something if there's nothing you can do? I would expect the same thing from KD if a situation like this happened in DC. I would expect the same thing from Jay-Z if a situation like this happened in Brooklyn. I mean, the list goes on. The list goes on and on. And then you have people that say silly stuff like, oh, well, Steph was born in the same hospital as LeBron. And then we'll use that as a ploy to say people are attacking LeBron because Steph was born in the same hospital. Why aren't you guys saying anything about Steph? He was born there as well. No, there's a difference. Steph was born in Akron. Yes, his father was playing for the Cavs at the time, if I'm not mistaken. And if Steph says something, that's good. That's all fine and dandy if Steph says something. But Steph does not have the same responsibility in Akron as LeBron James. But if this were in Oakland or anywhere in the Bay Area where he plays and where he grew up as a basketball player, won championships and MVPs and All-Stars, then yes, Steph has a responsibility because it's not just the other races of kids that like Steph, white kids or Mexican kids. There are a lot of black kids that like Steph. So if this happened in his area where he represents, he has that responsibility. But Akron is LeBron James. When we think Akron, Ohio, we do not think Steph Curry. We think LeBron James. Steph is only synonymous with Akron when he's playing up against LeBron James in a high-stakes game, such as the NBA Finals in Cleveland. Again, all of these so-called leaders in the black community are expected to say something and do something because that's what they signed up for. Unless they just say these things to use us to get money, to aggrandize themselves. We've seen LeBron James a lot 2 years ago in the George Floyd situation, Kenosha, Wisconsin. He wanted to be front and center. Remember when everybody spoke? I believe they had Obama on that line, Michael Jordan, and then LeBron just felt he needed to say something when people wasn't really checking to hear from him and talking about the players who were beneath him, using words like that to belittle. He was up in front and center then. And you mean to tell me that a kid, this happens in your backyard? This happens in a city you grew up and it's just a tweet? You can't call for government officials to sit down and talk about this situation and say, no, we got to do something about this. But then the question arises to me, can he say something? Is he allowed to say something? Because it gets to a point to where when you see these guys playing it safe, picking and choose their battles on these type of tragedies, and then you start to ask, can they say something? Are they allowed to say something? That's the question I'm asking.